Now I don't look like a dumb fuck. Turned out my mic was off. I'm new to this. Sorry. But I am here today with Jerry from Prepared Patriot NC. I've got him waiting to join on. I've trained with Prepared Patriot here in Florida, hosting them for their medical class. I've been up there for their Force on Force class. I'm going to bring Jerry in right now. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, buddy. How about yourself?
Good. So, I was just giving them a little intro. I gave a really good intro, just my mic was off because apparently I'm fucked juice all morning and forgot to turn it on.
That's the way it
But
works.
Prepared Patriot is a training outfit out of North Carolina. Like I was telling them, I've done your medical class, and then I've also been able to role play for your Force on Force class. And we were talking about getting a shotgun class scheduled out here pretty soon. I know you and I have to iron out the dates, but you're coming down to Florida, so that would just make sense. But why don't you kind of give them what's going on with Prepared Patriot right now, kind of your background, what type of training you guys do?
Oh man, right now I'm staying really busy with. If you pull up the website, there's nothing, but I've got so many people that have groups together and they're just calling, and so I'm just scheduling with those groups, depending on what they want and what fits their needs. As far as the schedule. Obviously, we do our comprehensive carry class, which is the only class that I know of around that actually you get your concealed permit plus learn how to draw from the holster, reholster safely, and learn all about the things you don't want to do. And I leave them off with that, that infamous question from Jaeger on who you willing to die for, and then I've done a couple pistol ones recently and a ton of stop the bleed classes, trying to get that basic stop the bleed in so that when we do our prepared medical class in July, those people will have a leg up. And we saw that when we did it down at your place. If they had that base stop the bleed, then that prepared medical, we can go even further, which is nice. And so I've been trying to, do a bunch of those, and that way I can fill that class up. And like I said, about to head your way in 3 weeks. I'll be down there for a couple of weeks. We'll work something out, decide what you want to do, and yeah, I don't care. We can even just do a range day. We just go shoot and have fun. I'm all for it.
Right on. Yeah, guys, their medical class was top notch, and yeah, it was really awesome for us because like everyone there had already done immediate action medical tactical response or something similar. So it was like very easy for everyone to just like kind of hit the ground running, and we were able to take it further. And it was so much information that at the end I was like, oh goddamn, like I'm a not do shit tomorrow and just fucking sleep in because I'm like mentally tired after it.
Right. Well, we catered for the that Lutheran group, the Lutheran Rescue Immediate people that they send out after disasters. We went to St. Louis and did the class for them again, which was a lot of work. That one was because we did essentially a 1-day class, but we had all the stop the bleed, all the practical, all the scenario, like we did with you guys, but compressed it into a little tighter format.
Did you have less time to do it all?
Yeah. We only had that 1 day, and it was kind of a compressed day because they have a certain set of schedule that they work with, and I guess the group, there were 25 there also, which, but we broke them into 3 groups and rotated them around. It worked out pretty nice.
Nice.
So especially with the final scenarios like we did with your guys,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the scenario is always my favorite part. It's
Right.
a lot of decision making, and sometimes you think you're doing the right thing, especially like in medical, but it could actually lead to you even getting hurt, which kind of
Exactly.
defeats the purpose. So what got you into teaching?
What got me into teaching? About 16 years ago, I had a friend who knew I was a gun guy, knew that, I was always hunting, fishing, shooting, just whatever. He said, "Hey, would you be interested in becoming an instructor and helping out with my Boy Scout troop?" Because he was a pack leader or whatever, And I said, "Sure, I'll do it." So we went on the Boy Scout camping thing and did their instructor stuff. And then when I first started, I really didn't want to do much more than that, but I loved it. And then I started teaching some basic courses and had some people that I'd done that for that said, "Hey, why don't you become a concealed carry instructor?" Which is just adding that state certification on. And so I did that. I started teaching those classes, and I said from day one that it wasn't enough, that it's just creating wannabe good guys and not giving them all the information and telling them what they really need to know. And then I hooked up with Matt and Patrick, and we formed Prepared Patriot, and we added the very first class we added was, we called it the next steps. And we taught what we look for in gear and the draw stroke and how to reholster safely. And it was a 1-day class. And the more classes we added, we're like, man, I'm kind of stuck here, only being able to teach this one class because I was the only one certified to teach the concealed carry. And so we said, why don't we add these? Add this class to that, and that frees us up to add additional classes. And we added it, and about 3 classes in, I said I'd never go back to teaching the minimum standards that the state requires. And I've had offers. I've had groups say, "Hey, if you'll come and teach us, we'll put 25 in a class or whatever. Guarantee me this." And I said, "Nope, not going to do it." Because it's just the difference in the 2 classes is night and day. And
yeah,
I actually go ahead.
Oh, it's a different student you get too.
Right. I deal with a lot less students, but a very higher caliber. And then I end up getting a lot of, especially women, who never carried a gun after they got their permit, and they ended up letting it expire. And so then they go looking to retake it, wanting to get their permit again. Because if you let it expire, you have to retake a class. And they see the difference in the description. They come take it, and they always say, and you've been to our classes, we always ask, something you learned from the class. And they always say, well, if I'd have learned all this the first class I took, I would have been carrying my gun all along. So,
that's a funny way to put it too. Is if you you take more than the permit class, you might actually carry your gun too.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in Florida, that out of every class you get, maybe 10% go on to actually carry a gun. And then if you can get them into like the pistol one that we teach, or that the pistol class of yours that I took, if you can get them into that and get them through that, then they start to see the need for additional training. You know, and then I tell people too, you know, you got to vet those instructors, because, you know, you're the same as I am. I'm not the know all, end all, be all. I've got come down, hopefully get to do something with you. And then in the fall, I'm taking a red dot class. And then in the spring, another medical class already lined up, good to go.
Damn, I got to look at the dates, but I just released my red dot pistol class, and myself and one of my students who I have helped me teach classes sometimes, we went over the curriculum yesterday. So
Nice.
hopefully, if anything, you and I should do a range day. We can just go through that too, because there'll be some stuff in there you'll like for teaching students with red dot pistols.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. And I know, you know, weapons junkie, Jody, he hooked me up with Chuck Peoples. I'm going to host him here in August.
Nice.
To teach a class. So I think he's almost finished up his curriculum for that, and we're going to start posting that out here in the next few days. So,
are you doing the homestead medicine class, or which one are you doing with him?
I'm not sure which one he's doing. But he talked to me. He sent me a message yesterday saying he just about had it finished up. He was ready to start promoting it, and you know. So I said, great. You know, we'll get it out there. So
yeah, I've been trying to get him to come down since like I first heard of him, and now I think we'll hopefully get him down in the winter.
Yeah. Max, I saw your comment. I think he only does that up near his place, where he has access to the tissues.
The live tissues. Oh, we got Austin here.
Yeah, Austin. Hey, Austin.
Very cool. So, out of the classes that you've done so far, what were some of the most influential ones or mind-opening classes?
Of course, the fight at tactical response. And what was neat about that one was the progression, where we started as a large group on Friday, I think it was, and you know, then Saturday and Sunday was a more of a medium-sized group, and then Monday and Tuesday were small group. Like I think there was like 6 of us did the whole thing. You know, where you added the force on force, and then at TDI, I did the faster training, which is what they use to arm educators up there.
What is it called again?
It's called TDI, Tactical Defense Institute in Ohio.
Yeah.
And they teach the FASTER program.
FASTER program. Okay.
Yeah. And it's what Ohio uses. I'll give you that acronym in just a second. It's what Ohio uses to train their teachers to carry guns. And they it's 3 days intense training. You actually can qualify to be Ohio peace officer and not be qualified for the FASTER. So it's a pretty stringent program, which is awesome. So here it is. FASTER saves lives. Faculty administrators, and the faculty administrator safety training and emergency response. And that is actually the class that hooked me on the medical. They did a brief medical thing at the beginning of it. In every scenario, we had to include it. But they asked us at the end of the first day what our biggest fear was. And they wouldn't let us answer. They said, we'll answer the next day. So, I'm back at the hotel and, sitting out by the pool thinking about this. I'm like, what is actually my biggest fear in carrying a gun? And defending myself, defending my family, doing the things I need to do. And it hit me that my biggest fear would be to get into a bad situation, down the bad guy, and one of my kids be hurt. And all I could do was call 911. And that kind of started my journey into the whole medical side of things.
Right.
Yeah. We were teaching, Doc kind of, he writes our curriculum and is our main teacher for the prepared medical. But I ended up getting certified to teach the Stop the Bleed too, just because, it gave me more practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you've seen our bags. We carry small field hospitals.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
Right on. Yeah. Yeah, I think the same thing for me too, with the fight being like the big, like, oh wow, a lot of things happen there, and I react in certain ways I wasn't expecting myself, and realizing like all the different lessons that class has, and that like your guys' force class has too.
I know.
You kind of get into carrying a gun and getting good at shooting, thinking that that's going to be your problem solver. But then you find out like, no, the problems are not that simple.
Right. And I think Max had put on, I saw he had wrote a comment onto somebody's post the other day that, what kind of trainings would they like to see? And he said, definitely more force on force. And I was thinking, yeah, we definitely need that. But all force on force is not the same.
Right.
We tried to make our scenarios ordinary day-to-day life and everything. But in some of the ones I've taken, what I've noticed, I went to one class and they do tell you that, regardless of the class, you always learn something. In this class, what I remember walking away from, and I won't say where I took it because I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but every scenario was a shoot scenario. And that's not reality.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get away without shooting, that should be my goal.
Right.
And you've taken ours, there's a mix that we
right.
try to put in there. But yeah, I remember this one day we went through like 10 different scenarios, and every single one was shoot the bad guy. So, Max, I agree with that, and you did a great job role playing there. Jody, saw Jody popped on there. I was bragging on you a minute ago, Jody. Talking about you getting me hooked up with Chuck. He's coming in August. So,
Yeah, I at the same time though, I've plotted out how I would like to do a force on force class that was all shoot scenarios, but it's not gonna be necessarily scenario driven. It's more like a pressure test of skills and tactics, and also kind of to just get the shakes out, because when even just paint marking rounds start flying at you, it elevates heart rates and people start making goofy ass decisions. And I'd like it to be where all my students can come out from cover knowing rounds are going to fire at them and still be able to execute their skills correctly and under that pressure.
And I think one of the things that happens And you know, in the classes we take and we go to the force on force too, that if you can make it through those classes, a normal situation is going to be a piece of cake, because all our role players are better shots than these criminals, and they're the one, they're training for this stuff. And so, you know, I've wondered how that actually would play out at certain times.
Yeah, you know, and it's there's something I talk with Jay about frequently is you know, there is that yeah, the dudes who practice shooting all the time are obviously going to be better at shooting.
Right.
Um, uh, except for certain people in my life who claim to be the greatest at shooting that have not shot 1,000 rounds in the course of fucking 10 years. But, but yeah, obviously the dude who shoots a lot is going to be better at shooting. But, you know, something I talk about with Jay is the criminal. He's better than all of us in the way that, you know, we wake up every day trying to avoid dangerous situations.
Mm-hmm.
He creates them.
He creates it. Right.
You know, like I am the danger. He's that guy. You know.
You know.
So there is that, but it's also like you know, something I talk about with Jay also is you can have the fastest draw stroke or the fastest reload and best split times and all that, but none of that will save you from a dude stabbing you in the neck while you're in the line to check out.
Exactly. And yeah, a knife scares me worse than a gun. You know, you've done the drills. You know what I'm talking about.
Especially knife people. They're fucking weirdos.
Right. So you got what you said to begin with, to start that, in that they're creating the danger.
Mhm.
So they're not looking at, and we're basically reacting to it. And it's how quickly we can react, and with what response we can react to. You know, you get stabbed in the neck with a knife, yeah, you don't have a whole lot of time to do anything. But you know, if you can pick it up ahead of time by their, you know, tactics and whatever, you can avoid being that close, being in that situation. But even the best, you know, the best of the best can fall victim to being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to have a ton of skill and mindset to go with it. Mindset, tactic, skill. The gear doesn't really matter, but you have to have all that, and then you have to have a good bit of luck on your side to get through one of those situations. You know, and I don't think we talk about that part enough as a culture, as a group. You know, some mention it and some kind of breeze over it, and you know, if you can do the things you need to do and get enough luck on your side to get home safely, then call it a win.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
yeah,
we should talk about what you're wanting to do. We could set something up. I've got all the gear.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I think we could probably make it happen at the range I just got access to here in Florida too. It's a privately owned
right?
place. Very limited access. Just me and a couple other traveling instructors that are using it. So
I see Josh put on there. He's really digging the shot card. I'm assuming he's talking about the shotgun cards.
oh
Yeah, he makes some good ones.
oh good. I'm glad you like it. I got some more that are going to be getting sent out here soon.
Yeah, I like them thicker ones. You use the it's like a furniture strap piece.
Yeah.
The base, those work really nice. I like those.
Yeah, that was Casey's idea. He wanted me to make him shotgun cards in that, and I tried it, and first few ways I did it didn't work good, but then just that combination of that webbing, 1.5-inch elastic, it was like the best.
Yeah. So those are a definite hit.
So what's the red dot class you're going to be taking?
There's it's actually through the DOJ in Salemburg. I'm gonna take it and see what they do, and then I'm gonna try to get one with somebody else and compare them, because you know how they teach officers around here.
Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to well, I guess it's I'll just leave the name out. But anyways, a person wrote out the standards and for how the police department should be setting up the red dots, and he wrote it to be zeroed at 10 yards, but he doesn't do that. He zeroes at 25, and he believes in zeroing at 25. But he did that because that's the distance they'll be able to zero at. For the majority of guys. So,
well, actually, was helping Doc's daughter and her husband run a little medical for their. They do a haunt like Halloween time of year, several weekends in a row. They have this venue that they do, and there's a lot of off-duty officers that work, and on the security and medical team, and I was talking with one of those guys, and super guy, and he's good in his stuff, and he understands that what they're getting is not what they need. And he said they went to a training, and the instructor ended up being the breacher, and they were room clearing. And because he was breaching the door, he didn't want them to draw their pistols out till they got past him. Now, I'm not going to tell another instructor what to do, but if I was having to go into a building where there's a bad guy and I'm room clearing, I ain't waiting until I get inside to have my gun out. I couldn't believe when he was telling me this. I was like, "Nah, you're kidding me. You're teasing me on all this." And he said, "No." He said, "This is the way they did it."
Yeah, it sounds like a confidence in the student issue where the instructor does not actually trust the student. And
exactly,
that's something you see when instructors are putting on body armor and shit like that to teach the class. And I'm like, oh man, like one of my favorite parts about teaching is I don't have to wear body armor, because I did that in the Marine Corps and don't want to do it anymore.
Right. So what have you been teaching most recently?
Man, recently I've been doing a lot of classes for myself, but otherwise mostly pistol classes. Run carry pistol 1 recently, and pistol skills a few times.
That pistol skills class, I had a lot of fun when we did that class.
Did we do that one too? I know we did. I don't know if we did that. We did carry pistol 2 together for
we
sure.
We did the carry pistol, but then when we were done, remember, we did some things after the class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember shit, bro. It's becoming a legitimate bad problem for me.
Look, man, most days I don't know if I'm here or there. I'm just happy that I'm on the right side of the grass.
But yeah, I did recently Jared Reston's performance pistol class, and then before that, Connect Consulting's RDP mechanics, red dot pistol mechanics class. That one is like the one I consider like a super good, like autistically in-depth look at, shooting red dot pistol. It was really good, and he run the hot range, and it was awesome. Any chance you get to train with either of those guys, go take a class with them.
Yeah, I was looking at Reston's class, and I didn't want to wait till he was closer. So I signed up for that other one, thinking, well, if I went ahead and took that one, and then if I catch him closer, at a later date, then I'd have two good comparisons. So Max said his accurate rifle is awesome too.
Well, I don't teach accurate rifle. I teach marksman. Marksman's a fun one, except for me, because it takes like 2 hours to set up because there's steel all over the range when I do it. And
yeah,
even during class, we have to like move barricades from one spot to another. But it is fun. That's a class where it's like all about basically dominating out to 300, 350 yards with just your normal fighting rifle. Of course, lots of people bring out magnified stuff, but
right. Well, I tend to like to go into these classes with what I carry, the way I carry it, and say, oh, if I had to grab this out of my truck, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah, it was funny. I saw one class that the way I read the description, it pretty much seemed like it's a rifle class, except you're wearing your EDC stuff. And I was like, that's kind of like how I take every rifle class, and how I tell people to come to dress to my rifle class anyways.
Right. Well, and you've been to our classes, we tell students, after that initial class, that first class, we expect you to come carrying your gun.
Yes. Yes, with your magazines already loaded and the gun already loaded.
Yeah. But invariably there'll be all these guys show up and they're not carrying a gun.
Yeah. And that always happens when you go to classes too.
and then I'm wondering, okay, well, did you stop on your way here? Did you, because I'm badly, if I'm going to a class, whether I'm teaching it or taking it, I tend to stop and buy a soda or something on the way. And, so I'm in and out of a convenience store. I don't want to go in there not carrying a gun,
Right.
So, but then, then you get all those guys show up. But actually, I think you were at the rifle class we were at, had a guy show up with his gear, still had tags on it.
No, I wasn't there.
You wasn't at that one?
No.
That was a tactical response. Like this one dude showed up, and he had his plate carrier and vest and everything. Everything still had tags. So I was like, Gonna take you a little bit to get all that stuff on, isn't it? Yeah. But I don't know. I think he saw a list of stuff and just went out and bought everything. Didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll usually, in Rifleman 1, I'll have someone who wants to wear a plate carrier or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dude, you're welcome to, but I wouldn't, because it's gonna get hot. You're gonna get miserable, and usually they leave it on until they're like dizzy, and then I go, you ready to take that thing off? And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, dude, we're in Florida, don't wear that shit.
Yeah. But in reality, that's probably a little more realistic. In a quick hit scenario like what we teach, the situations we teach, they're more along the lines of, you got to grab your stuff and go right then. Are you going to, do you actively carry all that gear with you in your vehicle or not? Because if you don't, then you're not going to have it. you know, things of that nature come into play in all that. And there's a lot to training. Like, you know, my dress don't change. You know, I wear basically the same clothes every day. Difference is sometimes it's t-shirts and button-up shirts, and in the wintertime it's sweatshirts and jackets, and then it's always shorts. You know, so I don't get these people that dress and carry completely different when they go take a class versus their day-to-day carry.
I get a lot of shit because I never wear shorts, but I'm like, well, if I wear shorts and I can't wear this extra gun and this extra ankle medical kit, you know?
Right. Well, that's not exactly true, Andrew, because I happen to know a guy. I happen to know a guy that'll make you a carrier for your medical gear that you can put in a cargo pocket on a pair of shorts.
Yeah, but I want the ankle kit because then I can show people this badass ankle kit. And I also want the second gun, which I am planning on buying a Jacob Peterson's Glock 43. I've been like trying to buy it from him because he was selling it, but I didn't have the money. Then I had the money, and then for whatever reason, he didn't give it to me, and whatever. But I'm planning on buying his Glock 43, and that's going to become a pocket gun. So now I'm going to have 3 guns. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a second pocket gun, and well, hell, now I got 4 guns. So I don't necessarily need my medical anymore. I'm going to take that ankle medical kit off, and I'm going to put another gun on my ankle.
I did a class one time where, and this is back before we started teaching the comprehensive carry and had to boom, boom, boom. You know, it was back when I was teaching the minimum standards class, and I had to kill some time. So on a whim, I loaded up as many guns as I could fit, and it was you know, late November or something. So I had a sweatshirt and a jacket. But now I was in shorts, and I think I got 16 on me.
God damn.
and funniest thing is that there was a lady, I remember she was sitting over on the left side, and what I do is I was talking and doing all this, and I'd pull out a gun and, you know, clear it and lay it on the table, you know, and then I'd talk a little more, and as I was talking, I'd pull out another one. And she just kept looking, and then she got to looking at the floor. and I said, what's the matter? And she's like, well, I was just waiting to see if you pulled one out of your sock. And I said, I don't have one in my sock, but I have one here, and I pulled my shorts up and had a garter holster on. And I thought the woman was going to fall out of her chair.
Yeah, and honestly, that is no shit. A part of my EDC too is proving the point that you can carry that stuff. You know, because I remember when I worked at a gun store and I'd, you know, do my Glock 19 pitch, and then, you know, someone would be like, "Oh, but printing and comfort and blah blah blah," and I was like, dude, you need to stop caring about that right now. Like, it is not that big of a deal. And a part of that too is working there. I'd have a tucked in shirt, and I'd be like, all right, where's the gun on my body? And they can never actually spot it. Now, it's a little bit harder these days. All right. But I also, you know, I'm pretty sure that one time printing helped keep a panhandler from asking me for more money, or, you know, like, I didn't give him money, but he came up and was like, hey man, I love your beard, blah blah blah. And it's late at night, you know, dark, alone at a gas station, so, you know, this is where it's gonna happen. And he kept doing target glances down, looking at my pistol, you know, through my shirt. And then when he asked me, he's like, hey man, can I get like $20? I went, sorry, can't. I didn't say sorry. I don't say sorry to them. I just went, I can't. And he's like, all right. He took one more look at it. Like, okay.
Just, I'm going to leave that one alone. Yeah,
you gotta a comment from Sam we have to hit. He said, Andrew, are all Marines riflemen? Well, you're fucking not, Sam. You're a machine gunner. But certainly all Marines are not riflemen, and you're more of a rifleman than most of the Marines who like to say all Marines are riflemen. In fact, most riflemen don't like to say all Marines are riflemen. They say every Marine a rifleman, and then there's another quote that says, every Marine a rifleman, right? Bullshit. And they say that, but at the same time, it's like being a rifleman is not just about hitting targets on the known distance range, like a lot of people think it is. Like, oh, I scored expert, so I'm a good rifleman. No, that doesn't mean you're a good rifleman. Like, can you hike shit for a long time? That's more of what it means to be a good rifleman.
Or can you,
Max,
do a sprint to this spot and shoot?
Yeah. And you don't even have to be able to shoot that good. Just shoot when you get there. He said, but my drill instructor, who was an admin clerk, told me all Marines are riflemen. He was wrong.
That's well, I 100% agree.
Sam knows how to push my buttons on that.
I figured that was a loaded question. So what's your plan for getting that little one out on the range?
Well, so Hadley, my older daughter, I offer to take her shooting.
Right.
She isn't as interested right now. But I have, well, it's been a little bit since I've really done much with her, but I've ingrained 4 rules into her, so she has a good understanding of that. But she hasn't been practicing lately, so she's not good at it right now.
Right.
My baby, she likes to pick up my airsoft pistol and shoot that whenever I'm practicing with that in my yard. And I think that's a great thing to have for your kids too, is a gas airsoft gun, because you can teach them all the same lessons for a lot cheaper and less amount of time. And like for Scarlett, she doesn't know the difference between that and a real gun, so
right.
It kind of satisfies her curiosity too.
Well, one of the things I started with my guys when they were younger, and actually I'm taking Kipton, who's now 13, but I've been taking him since he was 2. Mm-hmm. And he was the youngest. The other ones, were up a little older, but he had that interest at that age, But what I really taught them to do first, and use dummy rounds, and then some of the bigger, stronger springs and everything, I could find, is how to unload the gun, because. When they're here and they got their buddies hanging out here at the house and everything, I'm in control of what they have access to. But when they go to their buddy's house, I'm kind of out of that equation.
Right.
Yeah, and I just see too much of that, where, you got to realize that it doesn't matter that I've been taking Kipton forever and he knows these safety rules, and he's a better shot than most adults. Mm-hmm. He's smooth with his draw stroke and all this stuff. And in fact, he's the reason why I've started carrying a second gun, so that I have one for him. But they don't have that intellectual maturity to understand, I took the mag out, and that now it's still not okay to not follow those firearm rules, Mm-hmm. And so I pushed that really hard on them in case they ever got into that situation at a buddy's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's good. That's can give me memories from working at the gun store, when people are like, I want a safety on my pistol and double action, and blah blah blah, and I'm like, if you think double action is going to keep your kid from shooting himself, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you're absolutely right because yeah, you may have control over your house pretty good. You don't have total control. No one does, And but at the same time, they go over to a friend's house. Their friends are going to pull out their dad's guns.
Exactly.
And they're going to do it. And I know this because I did it.
Mm-hmm.
We all did it when we were kids. It happens.
Yeah. Well, and you as an instructor, you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
As an instructor, you've seen it too, not only in the gun store, but I've had people who go to hand me a gun, pointing the barrel right at me, and say it's okay. The
Yeah,
safety.
here you go.
I'm like, okay, let's talk about those 4 rules a minute. Yeah. Just because it has a safety on it doesn't mean you break those rules.
Yeah, I personally wish every gun was always loaded all the time because then people would actually handle them with care.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
like I wish guns didn't run out of ammo.
yeah. Never ending belt fed.
Yeah. It'd be good on so many levels.
So we ever get it to what the seemed like the stormtroopers in Star Wars were like that. They always had their lasers always worked. They couldn't hit shit. They always worked.
Yeah, I can nerd out on that for a while. There's like there's things on that like theories on why they were so inaccurate. When they're trying to shoot at Han and Luke and Leia in the first one, but then when they went and shot up a bunch of Jawas and Obi-Wan's like, only stormtroopers are so precise. And the theory is that they were actually letting them get away so they could find their base on Yavin 4. Yes, that's how much of a Star Wars fucking dork I am.
Hey, everybody's got their stuff, man.
Yeah, if when I was working nights at UPS, listening to Star Wars shit was how I fell asleep. I couldn't fall asleep any other way.
Hey, Chuck joined us.
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, man, I said you were coming down in August, and we were going to start promoting that here in the next day or so. So looking forward to you coming, buddy.
So you still got all the Force on Force stuff?
Yep, that's what I said. If you wanted to set that up, we could probably do it. I kind of liked the way you described it. I wouldn't call it Force on Force. I would call it, by a different name, since every scenario will be a shoot scenario.
Well, I just consider Force on Force scenarios as a thing, and then
they are
Force on Force, and I think of it as like a practical application of skills.
Yeah.
And
maybe we need to look at somehow incorporating skills in there because just that wording, because if you think about it, Force on Force truly is not only about your skill, but about thinking on your feet and making those quick decisions, where this is going to be more of a skill related,
Yeah, just think about like say you were going to take fighting pistol and do all the same drills against a person. That's basically what I'm going for. And yeah, there'll be some things where we're practicing actually not shooting and doing other stuff, but somebody's going to be shooting while you do it.
Yeah, well, then it is Force on Force,
Yeah.
I think I misunderstood because I just talked about doing that class where every scenario was a shoot scenario.
Oh, yeah. So basically, like, all right, so imagine the beginning of class, we are going to draw and point a gun at each other. All right. And then after several times of that, you're going to get to fire one round after that gun comes out, both of you. All right. And then do that a few more times without shooting. And then now we're going to fire 2, like kind of like building up. So it's also like there's going to be this thing going on where you're like, fuck, we're about to fucking shoot at each other, right? Well, I like for that feeling to kind of go away, for it to just be like, I'm about to draw my pistol correctly, line up my sights, and press the trigger correctly. And it's something that we've been doing here and there. I need to make it a more regular thing, but we've been doing it here at my house with airsoft.
Right.
You know, it's not the same as a paint marking round, but for everything except for that, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a practical application of skills. You're practicing inflicting pain on a human being and trying not to get shot.
Well, let's spend some time when I'm down, and we'll kind of hash it out, and maybe September, October, put it together.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good, man. I want to do it.
I can travel down there pretty easy.
Yeah. Can you still get ammo for your guns?
I know a guy.
Okay. All right, cool.
That's the best.
All right. So everyone here who's watching, you all need to commit to fucking coming to this. This is something I've been wanting to make happen for a while. I think we should make it a 2-day event so that people traveling really makes it worth their time. But yeah, basically, because I'm looking at the guys in the comments, I know what they've done mostly. So just imagine taking fighting pistol against a person. That's basically what.
Well, would you want to set it up, kind of in the array of fighting pistol, where we have it, where they can take one day or take both days? I'm sure we could do that.
Let's look at the things we're gonna do. I've got. I wrote out exactly what it would be in a notebook, and the notebook's fucking gone. But writing it kind of committed to my memory, anyways. So we can go over that though.
Yeah, we'll look at that and decide. I'm all for doing a 2-day, but if we wanted to let somebody couldn't make both days, just come for the one day, I'd be okay with that too. It's hard here. I have a hard time getting people to commit to 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is, other than they're just cheap.
Yeah, that can happen. It's one of those things where it's like, you're gonna get a few less students, but what I do is I do 1-day and 2-day classes. So like red dot pistol is gonna be a 1-day class. It's gonna be an in-depth class. Trying to keep it related to how to use the gear.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you take a red dot pistol class, it's basically a how to shoot good class, and then how to use the red dot. I'm trying to put that in the reverse order. This is how you're using the red dot. This is how your eyes should be looking at the target, what you're seeing with the dot.
Right.
And then now we're going to use this to make us shoot a little bit better.
We're going to use this skill to make this happen. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's just shoot for it. We're maybe September, October, and we'll check the range while I'm down there this summer, and we'll go over what you have and figure out how to get it all together.
Sounds good. And I got my classes listed, and guys, if you're hearing this right now, I today added another carry pistol 1 date at Aries. I think it's the second weekend in October. So y'all can sign up for that. But Jerry, look at the dates you're going to be down. Look at the classes that I got going on too for planning on what you want to do with me. And then we can look at scheduling one of your classes here while you're down too.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that because I know it's like 3 weeks. We'll be down from the 22nd of June to the 6th of July.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
I figure I'm either going to love it or hate it with the 4th being in there. So.
Well, if you just stay inside the whole time, it'll be nicer.
Yeah.
So, one thing we're super excited about, I don't know, you see me like drinking this. This is cucumber water, and then we have a cold brew coffee going on. We're trying to make life a lot better dealing with the heat. Like hot coffee in the morning fucking sucks. So but yeah, it's just gotta deal with it. But all right, man. Anything you want to leave them with?
Man. Of course, you look at who's on. It's always the guys that we know train and do that. But guys, get out there and do it. Keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
Come train with us and train whatever you want. I know Andrew posted the website on there. Evan's changing our website at the moment. Evan Dixon is my web guy, Radio Made Easy. And he has gotten like so busy that it's hard to get him to get stuff done, And so what I told him, I said, look, just go under every class where they click on the tab and put call Jerry at and list my number. I said, we'll make a class app, because I can post dates and stuff on Facebook, and then he's going to add Chuck's class once we have the description to the website. And then what I'll do, Chuck and I have talked a little bit, and everything will go through Chuck, but I'll post a link on there so that it pushes to him. So he told me he could do that for me as soon as I had all the information. So
right on. Then you guys also have a YouTube page. Are you going to be doing any YouTube videos soon?
All right. So my plan is I'm going to start that while I'm in Florida.
All right, cool. We can do a bunch of shorts or something while you're here.
That's what I was thinking. You and I can get
I'll
together.
show you exactly. Yeah, man. I'll show you exactly how I knock it out. It's a very simple formula. Just write down, like, in your phone, start a list of all your video ideas. Just like bullet points. Just like what the topic is, or the first sentence, or what the general idea is going to be, or the title, something like that. And we can spend 2 hours and knock out straight up like 100 fucking videos.
Nice. So,
but they do have about like over 200 videos on their YouTube channel. So Prepare Patriot NC.
We have
on YouTube
on there. One of the funniest ones. Go back and hear my rant about my resource officer who didn't carry a tourniquet. So he said it was on his battle belt in the trunk of his car. I said, dude, we need to talk about your job. And then we did all this cool stuff and did a class for just resource officers. He didn't show up, and it was free. I mean, he was the very one that caused us to do that, and then he didn't show up.
So. Why would I do that when that would hurt my ego?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about him. He has a tourniquet in his car.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was
just like I'm carrying my gun. It's in my car. Yeah.
So whatever. So Zach Bush, hello. He must have just popped in.
He's going to be coming here this next weekend. I'm taking entangled gunfighting and his shotgun class.
Cool.
Definitive shotgun.
Yeah, I saw that. That one looks like a good class. Of all the classes I teach, that's the funnest class. We have all teaching shotgun class.
Man, I gotta get a fucking semi-auto gun, because I'll tell you what, shotgun classes are not the funnest when it's the pump gun the whole time. Like, at least not when you start shooting slugs and buck. Then it's like, all right, my face hurts again. But I'm after. I want to get a 1301 Mod 2, and I want the pistol grip stock. So I know everyone said not to do that, but I'm like, I don't know, man. I think I'll be fine, and I definitely prefer a pistol grip over the normal style when it comes to rifles. So,
right. Yeah, I'll bring that curriculum with me too, and you can have what of it you want, and then add from others you take and make your own.
Sounds good. Yeah, I did wave the shotgun, and I put out just a 1-day class because I kind of feel like that does well for a shotgun, where it's like,
Right.
It's like dudes are excited to get out there and just learn how to run that thing for a day.
Yeah, and that's what I do a 1 day, and I took that way of the shotgun with Tim, which was great. But I just do the 1 day. But now we go through about 250 rounds in a day. Like
Nice.
they're throwing it, So it's fun.
Yeah, shotgun classes also have a lot of time spent back at the benches, just restocking your kit with shells because you're like, damn, I'm fully loaded. I have 36 rounds.
I see Max is cutting out of here. See you, Max.
All right, man. You got anything else for them?
I think I'm good, brother. Enjoyed it.
All right, man. Yeah, thank you for joining us. So, guys, preparepatriotnc.com, Prepare Patriot on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Get out there to North Carolina and then put pressure on us to put that Force on Force class out.
Yeah.
I'm psyched for that. I really, really want to do that. So let's definitely make that happen because that's going to be my favorite thing. In fact, I've been even like, man, if I could just easily get the ammo for Force on Force stuff and I could guarantee regular students, I would go to just only doing Force on Force classes. I think that would be the best.
Oh, it would be great. I know there is one group that's kind of close to here that they basically offer it every day. They have an indoor facility, but the tactics aren't always there. I'll say, I think they set them up for failure sometimes, which is not always great.
Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. Keep fighting communism. Kill all pedophiles.